And I think what you said there was get people who support your kind of vision or your mission. I think the problem for most business owners is they don't know what that is, and they don't know who they are, right? And they don't. I'm kind of like sure, and I think I know what I want to do, but they lack this belief, this real conviction in themselves to go, fuck it, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to behave, this is how I'm going to live. I'm not going to be part of the status quo. I'm not going to dress a certain way. I'm not going to speak a certain way. I'm not going to price a certain way. I'm not going to act a certain way. I'm not going to be available 24/7. I want to be off with my kids when I want to be off, and I want to fuck the insurance companies off, and I don't want to have to deal with Medicare. And I don't. I think they kind of at the surface level know what they want and they can verbalize it, but at the deep like conviction level of this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is what I'm going to go get. That's the bit that I think any business owner listen to this. The minute you get that, I'm watching you, Cory, and I think it's amazing what you're doing, and I can sense it because I think you certainly appeal to me and what I've known about you in the short period of time. You know what you want, and you've got the conviction to go and get it. I think if I look at my business, if quote unquote success, I've got 40 plus staff, businesses in the UK, business in the US. It seems to be relatively successful in that people want to keep coming out to listen to me, and on the sort of practical level, we're a successful business. We make good money and we do well and we give people good jobs. But I also love my life and I enjoy my life. And if anybody pushed me on why that is it's because I'm determined to live my life, nobody else's. Not no false belief bullshit, not no generations of poverty and my mum said this and my dad said that and the school people telling me I can't do this and my friends telling me I can't do that. Somewhere within you, it's got to be the courage of your conviction to go, that's who I am, that's what I want to live. And then what happens, and this is where I'm going with it, it's obviously happening to you. I've experienced it. Then what happens is because you know what you want, it's easy for people to get in line and follow you. And it's easy for people, i.e. your team. I've had staff 10, 11, 12 years follow me, work with me, be part of my team for a decade more, multiple 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 9 year staff members. It's because I know exactly who I am. And it's much easier for them to follow me because of that. And because you're so consistent in who you are, to anybody else, you going off scuba diving for 4 days is a bit wacky. To your team members, it's like, that's what he does. That's who he is. That's what he does. There's a PT listening to this who wouldn't dare tell their staff that they're leaving early to go pick their kids up to watch football or to just goof off on the golf course. They wouldn't dare tell their staff in case the staff had an opinion of them. And I'd say that's about 90% of people listening to this podcast, and that's most of their fucking problems, that they don't live that type of life. And because they don't live that life, they don't have the right people who are following them. And then there's just this horrible cocktail mix of a business owner that's lacking belief, who kind of wants to live a great life, but kind of can't. And they've got staff who are there and they're getting paid, but they're not really following them. And nothing much really happens. And then they all blame Medicare and they all blame Facebook or Google or whatever it is. But I think a lot of it stems from the business owner knowing what they want, knowing who they are and how they want to live. And when you get that, people want to follow that level of certainty. And I've wrote about this in my books that when you get that, people follow you because they want it themselves. Like I've said it to all my staff. I know why you hang around with me, because you want a piece of my certainty. You want to live like I live. You don't want to be as brash as me or as candid as me, but you want your version of that to come to fruition. And I think that's the piece that lots of business owners miss. So I think for you, Cory, it's absolutely amazing what you're doing. Not just the impact in your practice with physios and PTs all around the world, but the way you live in your life and the way you run in your business. I think it's an absolute A1 success story. So well done. I'm celebrating for you. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul.